Boop 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 boop. Good morning. Boop 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 boop. Good morning. Hello. Yes, welcome to yet another uplifting episode of Redstone Lapis Lazuli. It is I, your host, Pogo Kiddo. Wait, am I recording? Yeah. The sound is on. Yeah. Hello. Welcome, America. Yes. Check it out. I'm on. It's on. I see all this stuff going, so I assume it's working. I'm getting low bit rates, but yeah, that's the way it works. Okay, hey, check it out. So it's nighttime, unfortunately, and all these zombies are out. And I'm standing on top of there's the resurrection base, and I'm standing on top of the jail here, and it's unstable. It says my stream is unstable, but that's the way it's going to have to be. Let me sleep. Well, no, let's not. Okay, up there is the village breeder, and the babies drop down into the safe space there. And that's an elevator up, so I can go up there if I don't have wings, which I do, but I don't. And plus, that right there is the way down to go visit my babies. And even though it looks scary and like monsters can go in there, monsters are not smart enough to go in there or to do anything really. So, okay, the dawn. But look, things are different, right? Things appear a little more complicated. Things look a little more complicated. Yeah, when has that not been true? Okay, so what I've done here ding, ding, is I've created another place. Anyways, I've created an intersection here. An intersection. In that direction is Resurrection Base, as you know. And over there, as you know, is the jail and the village, where all the villagers pop out of, right, from right here. And over there is the village that I'm trying to restore. The village was pretty messed up, pretty bad. It was a pretty bad village. So I needed to do a lot of work. I still need to do work to make it safe, enough for things to happen. Sorry, dude, not right now. How do I can't? Yeah. So here I am doing my thing, and way over there is the village, and way over there is the resurrection base. So this contraption allows you to switch between going that way or going that way. Or going this way. It's all three directions. But, you know, they've done it before. It's been done before. It's nothing new. But what I've added is that you don't have to stop to make this decision. You can keep going, make this decision, and then keep going without stopping. The magic is with the target block. It's taken me forever to do this because I've always thought of this as soon as I saw the target block. But I'm like, I need a way to switch tracks without getting out of my minecart, and the only way I thought you could do it is with an arrow. And so this is how it works. You shoot the thing, and it switches. It'll tell you which direction you're going to go in, either that way or this way, and you can switch it back and forth. And you don't have to shoot it in the dead center. You can shoot it off in the corner, and it will still work. It's magic. It's not magic, it's redstone. So right now it's going to go this way because of the curve. So suppose you're coming from this direction, all right? You're coming from this direction. And there's a handy dandy indicator light if you want to go left, if you want to stop, or if you want to keep going. I might switch it because I like the direction one better. But that's pretty neat. If you want to stop, then it's on red. If you want to keep going, it switches it. So then you're going to go and just keep going straight. Oh, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. And then if you want to come back and you want to keep going, you just shoot it again and it switches. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. How does this work? It's real simple. This right here is what's known as a T flip-flop circuit. So what that does, why do I have 2 blocks up there? Anyways, what that does is there's a piece of redstone in there, and that comparator is reading this dropper, which sees the piece of redstone and then turns on, which puts out a signal into this block. That signal changes the orientation of this rail to go right or left, if it's on or off. It also powers this block, which turns off this torch, which unpowers this block, and then there's another torch on top. You can't see it. Yeah. Which, yeah, I don't need these things right here. Uh-oh. Get that out. Okay. So so that unpowers this redstone. So all this redstone up here is unpowered. So that one, this signal is inverted. That means this one's powered. When this signal is powered, this becomes not powered, and then this one becomes powered. So the light changes to indicate which direction you go in. And then yeah, this just changes the sticky piston to move the redstone block from either up or down. So it's really simple. And whenever you shoot the target block, it gives a power level based on like how close to the center you hit it. So if you don't hit it dead center, it won't reach it to the end. That's why you need to have a repeater here. I might even need to move the repeater over here, depending, to make sure that the signal gets all the way over there. Because once the signal hits the repeater, it doesn't matter what power level the signal was when it came in. When it comes back out, it's 15 again. It's max power. So no matter how weak the signal is, when it comes in, once it hits a repeater, it's max power again. Bah! And I shoot it over to this thing. And then what it does is it powers the hopper, or the dropper. This dropper points upward. So that's not going to do anything, right? Because there's nothing in it. And this dropper shoots that way into the hopper. And this hopper is unpowered. And when hoppers are unpowered and things are in it, if it can, it will drop things down. Just unpowered hoppers will drop things straight down, which it does. It drops it into this dropper. And this dropper is faced in this way. And right now, there's a redstone in that, a piece of redstone. It doesn't matter what's in here. It's a piece of anything. If you have anything in here, the repeater will, or the comparator will read it and power this blocks. So what happens if you shoot it? All right, if you shoot it and you send a signal over, it shoots a signal in here, right? Does nothing. It also, for some reason, droppers also power the blocks next to them. So if this dropper gets powered, it also powers this dropper and this dropper. Well, this empty dropper gets powered, shoots nothing up into this dropper, which contains nothing. And that dropper gets powered and shoots nothing into this hopper. This hopper, containing nothing, drops nothing into this dropper. This dropper, containing a piece of redstone, shoots that redstone into this dropper, where it now rests. Now this dropper is empty, so this comparator is turned off, which turns off any power that goes to this block. That block is unpowered now, which means, oh, how do I get back over there? That torch turns on, which powers this redstone, and it turns on and flips all those switches. All from this little thing here, right? Okay, but what if I were to reshoot the target block and send another signal through? What that has done is that powered this block, or this dropper, to shoot the redstone up here. Then this dropper was also powered by this dropper. So it shot that piece of redstone back over into this dropper. This dropper, unpowered, holding something, just drops it down into this hopper. This hopper, this dropper got powered, but it was empty. So it shot nothing into this dropper. After it shot nothing into this dropper, the hopper above it dropped the piece of redstone into it. So now there's a piece of redstone sitting in this hopper, or in this dropper, and now the comparator reads it and flips everything. Ta-da! That took a long time for me to figure out. Right? I don't want to. I hate to sound stupid, but that bit of stuff took me a long time to not only like design, but also to like then build it. It was silly. But now that I've done it, now that it's done, now that it's complete, all these little things have to happen in order to like go on to the next step. It's so annoying. Now we have to look. Where does this thing go to? Like, I'm not gonna send anyone there yet. All right. So here I'm sitting, right? I'm in my cart. I don't want to go right. All right, so it switches it. I can do this on the fly, so I don't need to stop. But yeah, here is the new train line I made. For the express purpose of transferring villagers away from their place over here, from their hiding place, and over to a brand new, like, actual village. Now, this village was a bad village. It was, for some reason, it was designed poorly when it spawned in. So when it came in, monsters just devoured the entire population. And they had no chance. They had wooden doors, and zombies will break wooden doors in hard mode. So I need to come here and save and fix the village. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm not quite done yet. But before I drop villagers off here, yeah, you see how many zombies I've already had to murder? And like, I've had to light up this village a lot. It was really, really dark. And because of the darkness, yeah, monsters spawned. Furthermore, some of these houses were just inaccessible. Like, you just can't get to them. Not only was it dark, but you couldn't get to it. Like, that one up there. So I had to like build a pathway up to the houses and the job sites so that villagers could like live and work. And this one too, look at it. So the guy up here who sadly got killed by a zombie could now finally interact with all the villagers down there. And this patch of dirt here is the result of a creeper blowing up on me. So yeah, let's hang out here for a bit and enjoy the work I've done, the start of it, right? And then once it gets dark, I'll show you why I need to keep working here. Like, man, nothing is easy. So yeah, today's a special day for me. It's a special day for me. Oh yeah, look at the shirt I'm wearing. Landed. Look what the USA has done. Look how people want to say government can't do anything. Man, you guys are crazy. You guys are on crack. Like, when you say government can't do anything. Look at this shirt I'm wearing. It says, curiosity. Da-da-dum. Wait. There I am. Da-da-dum. Oh, you can't see it. Well, it says landed. It says landed. And it said 8/5/2012. 9 years ago and a month. The United States like sent a nuclear dune buggy. It's a dune buggy with a nuclear reactor on it. The United States shot a rocket with the dune buggy on this rocket. and they shot it through space all the way to Mars. When it got to Mars, they ditched the rocket, and the dune buggy went down with a jetpack on it. So it goes through the atmosphere. The jetpack like fires at jets. It flips the dune buggy upside down, a totally upside down flip on like in the air of Mars, like different gravity, different air, different everything. But they like calculated this. It did a flip in midair, landed in Mars, and has been driving around Mars for like 9 years. A nuclear dune buggy. That's wild. That's crazy. All right, so you see some zombies over there. I need to fix and zombies over there. If I put villagers in this village, those zombies will come like a magnet, and they'll eat all the villagers. So I have to either light it up or make a wall around this place. And I don't want to make a wall. I'm just gonna put more torches down. But yeah. So that's cool. So yeah, I had to put all these torches everywhere because this village was super dark. And even now, look at there's like drowned zombies in there wearing gold armor. Spiders creeping. Creepers creeping. How can I, in good conscience, drop a bunch of villagers into this place? Right? It would just be like murdering them. It'd be like dropping them into a bad place. Ah! Punk? Jeez, he messed me up. All right. So yeah, I have to make this place safer before I drop people in here. And that's a task of its own, right? That's a whole other task. Like, as it was, like all these weeds. As it was, this place was like, I had to like I had to take off the zombie off of them anyways, or I had to like de-zombify them in order to even get them to this point. So it'd be silly to like just make them zombies again by dropping them back into the same conditions that made them zombies to begin with, right? Right? Doesn't that make sense to you? Why would I drop villagers into a village that already makes zombies? It would just make new zombies. It doesn't solve anything. You have to fix the village before you can save the villagers. Otherwise, you're just gonna make more zombies. So that's one of the things I've been doing. Well, that's been like the main thing. It was a lot of work, let me tell you. And like, but now that I've got like this prototype system, I think I'm gonna keep working on that. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I want to show you. Oh, I don't know if they made a change or what, but here's where I noticed it. You see those reflections? Before, they used to smear like tracers. They would be like a big smear. It'd be a reflection, but it'd be like a smeary reflection, so it wouldn't really look that great. I don't know what they did, but they changed it so that the reflections look real good. Those look like great reflections. It doesn't smear. It doesn't really smear. And so because it doesn't smear, it looks really good. Like there's a little bit of smearing, like on the torches. But for the most part, those reflections look great. The team, the Bedrock team did a great job on these reflections. I'm very pleased. Yeah, see, here's where it's smearing still, right? And I don't know, maybe it's because the amethyst uses a different technique, but the amethyst smears the reflections. You see how it smears it? But the glass does not smear the reflections. Or if it does, it's very little. And only on the edges. So there's a substantial improvement between the glass and the amethyst rendering. Whatever they're doing to render the glass and the amethyst is different. I think it's because I have bump mapping enabled on this one. The bump maps might contribute to the smearing. All right. Oh yeah, here, I want to use the train. Let's use the train. Oh yeah, so I can change it. Oh, F5. F5. Here, check it out. That's right now it's set to go straight. But if I want to stop, I want to stop. Say what I want to stop. Amazing! Amazing! Oh, it's not really amazing, right? That's a lot of work. but if you're a person who like when I first started playing Minecraft, I was making dirt huts. Like I didn't know how to do this stuff. This stuff is incredible. If I looked at this when I first started playing Minecraft, I wouldn't understand what I was looking at. I wouldn't understand it. I wouldn't understand the redstone. I wouldn't understand anything. I would see the pretty lights and I would see the moving things, but I wouldn't really understand like how that stuff works. It's only because like I can maybe use it, but I wouldn't understand it. It's only because I spent all this time learning about redstone and Minecraft and stuff that I'm able to make these like crazy things here. Like there's no tutorial to make this. Like I don't think it's even good enough to like it's even worth making a tutorial for this thing. Like it's all right, but I mean I guess I could, but I don't see. I mean the one benefit I like about it is that it stays. Like it stays locked. But otherwise, the problem is if you're always going straight and that's it and you rarely stop, you're going to be shooting this thing every time. Every time you go by, you're going to be shooting this thing. So I need a way to like flip it somehow so that you're not always shooting it. Like to go straight, I have to shoot it. All right, so I go straight. And then I want to come back, right? Oh, I have to shoot it again to come back. So I can't AFK. In either direction, I can't AFK. I can't just stop and like let it go and be on a loop and keep going. I have to keep shooting the thing or I'll stop. And I don't want to do that. I want to keep going. So I have to work this out. So once I work this out, maybe it's maybe the solution is as simple as moving this back 1 or 2 and inverting that signal. If I invert the signal, I can, or even invert this signal. No, I can't invert this signal, but invert this signal. so that you don't have to shoot it every time. Maybe coming back you have to shoot it, but not going forward, going in another direction. But as it's set up right now, you have to shoot it both ways, and it's no good. So if I work that out, and I'll make a tutorial. Ta-da! Because this is something that's actually like, you can't find a tutorial to make this in Minecraft in Bedrock. You can't do it. So I can contribute. Yay! All right. But yeah, the three-way selector. That you don't have to stop. You can keep going without stopping. But then now, once I master this one, and once I secure this village, I can turn this right here into another three-way stop, and then continue the train line. I think you're going to go over here, cross here, hit this island, come back this way, and then I don't know if over here, over on the backside, do I want to make the where do I want to make a train station attached? Like this blank spot right there, it looks like it really, really wants a train station. It really wants something. That blank spot. It's gonna look weird to have these train lines sticking out, but maybe not. Maybe that's just the cool nature of it. So I think that blank spot here wants a train station put into it. And then I can start making other directions. I'll connect it this way. Oh, and then let me show you this one. What else did I find? So in a direction I barely go in, and I rarely go in this direction because there's no water here. I like being near oceans, but like I went over here just to check it out. And it takes a while, right? It's not like something you would find whatever. It's clear on the other side of this forest. Oh, there it is. I almost missed it. A nice coral, warm ocean biome. So if I want coral, I know where I can go to get coral now. Like, yay! So that's nice. But check out this mountain. This is like the best old school mountain. Look at this, look at this, look at this. Ah! Wow. Ah! Isn't that cool? And yeah, I think what is this? Y level 11. Straight down. That's cool. I like this. So yeah, I'm like, there's a bunch of stuff in here, but that's kind of cool. I like how there's a mountain. It goes from the very top of a mountain all the way down to the bottom. From the top of the mountain to the very, very depths. That's so cool. But yeah, this is the old school mountain. In the next update, this is going to be like ridiculous. We're not gonna call these mountains anymore after their next update. So that's why I'm waiting. Like I'm building stuff slowly, but I'm gonna be ending up moving once we get that mountain update. All right. So yeah, today's a special day, special day, special day, special day. I mean, yeah, tomorrow is Labor Day, which is important. And it's kind of sad. For Labor Day, if you work in service, you still have to work. It's not Labor Day for you. So that's kind of not cool. Not only did the United States move Labor Day from May 1st to September, but it also only made Labor Day for certain classes of people and not for all working people. So that's kind of rough. But there's that. But it's also another special day for me. So I'm gonna like be special today and do things a little different. More coffee. Da 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 da. Qu'est-ce que l'autre? Let's see, what else do I got here? Let me check my slides. All right, man, there's so much stuff going on. I know it's Sunday, right? And today is supposed to be a day of worship and reflection. And so let me give thanks for my existence, for creation, for the grace that gives me my platform and my ability to spread this consciousness. So before I get too far up out of the gate and go astray, let me give thanks. Yeah. What else? Yeah, USA. Things are kind of nuts here. Things are crazy. Hospitals in Oklahoma are out of ICU beds because people are overdosing on ivermectin. Ivermectin does nothing to treat COVID. It does nothing to treat COVID. But disinformation being spread meant to harm people is being consumed by Americans. And they believe this disinformation, and then they engage in behaviors that are harmful to themselves and to others. It's not the first time. Like, remember hydrochloroquine? That too does nothing. It's a malaria drug. That does nothing. Malaria is a bacteria. I don't think it's a virus. It's a bacteria. COVID is a virus. Like, totally different things. Ivermectin treats worms, parasites, not bacteria, not viruses, but parasites, worms. Like, people are listening to disinformation and hurting themselves, and they're filling the ICU beds with treatable, preventable diseases, and then they're taking away space from people with actual emergencies, who actually need help, who are hurt through no fault of their own. And because of the selfish behavior of people thinking they're smarter than experts, they're hurting society in general. That just bugs me. Is it working? It is working. Bakery. We refuse to serve gay people. Conservatives. Well, that's their right. And then the bakery says, we refuse to serve anyone not wearing a mask. And the conservatives say, but you're violating our rights. So hypocrisy only works on people with integrity. Right? Because that's what hypocrisy is. It's an attack on someone's integrity. What is integrity? What is integrity? Here, yeah, like let me give you the actual definition so I don't go like give you something wrong. Integrity definition. Integrity. Steadfast adherence to a strict moral or ethical code. The state of being unimpaired. Soundness. The quality or condition of being whole or undivided. Completeness. So, when someone lacks integrity, it means they lack wholeness. They lack completeness. They lack steadfast adherence to a strict moral code. And we recognize hypocrisy as saying one thing but doing another thing. And if you say one thing and do another thing, you become a hypocrite. And that means your integrity suffers. What is integrity? Your wholeness. Your wholeness as a person suffers when you don't have integrity. When it means you don't follow a moral code, it means all sorts of bad things, right? But this only matters if you care about integrity, if you care about wholeness and completion and a strict adherence to a moral code. If you don't care about these things, then the label of hypocrisy does nothing to you. It does nothing. You don't even care. Because you don't care, right? Because if you're not a whole person to begin with, being called not whole does nothing to you. You're not trying to be whole. What does that mean to not be a whole person? What does that mean? It means something's missing. Where's that missing part? That's the question. An answer is only good in as much as it fragments into more questions. Because you're searching for the truth. And so yeah, if you're a person who does not care about integrity, does not care about wholeness, you do things that make you not a complete and whole person. Where is the missing part? Where is it? Where is the missing piece? Where is it? So here we have a tweet from retweeted by Ken Peters. Ken Peters is with a cult called the TCAPP. It's a cult that serves a demon. All right. And he retweeted, which means he endorses the words of this person, Alan Beth Stuckley. And Allie Beth Stuckley said, I went down the rabbit hole of tweets screaming about how America is becoming a Christian nationalist dictatorship. Do these people live in a different universe where leftists don't run 2.5 branches of the government? Yeah, that's correct. We live in a world where leftists, I don't know what that means. I think leftist means not a rightist. So she's a rightist, right? Ken Peters is a rightist. Allie Bethley Stuckley is a rightist. So the rightists live in a world like where anyone not a rightist is a leftist. Okay? Anyone not a rightist is a leftist, according to these guys. So if you're not a rightist, they believe that leftists run 2.5 branches of the government. 2.5 branches of the government. So the United States government has 3 branches of government. 3 branches of government. You have the executive, you have the legislative, and you have the judiciary. Right? Those are the 3 branches of government. All right. Joe Biden is a Democrat. I'm going to say, and he runs the executive. I'm going to say Democrats run the executive. Okay. The Supreme Court just decided to overturn Roe versus Wade in the most underhanded way possible. They wouldn't even make arguments to do it. They just signed it off. So by 6-3 majority. So I would say that Republicans control the judiciary. So now that's one, right? There's 3 branches of government, right? If one branch is controlled by Democrats and the other branch is controlled by Republicans, the third branch, how do you get to 2.5 branches with only one left? So let's take that one left. What is this one left? The one that's left is the legislative branch. That's divided into 2. That is the House and the Senate. All right. The House has passed a ton of laws, a ton of bills. The House is controlled by Democrats, for sure, Nancy Pelosi. But the Senate hasn't passed hardly any bills. Why? Why hasn't the Senate passed any bills? Because in order to pass bills in the Senate, you need 60 votes. You can't move forward without 60 votes. That gives power to the minority. The minority has veto power. If the minority doesn't want to go, it doesn't go. So do the Democrats control the Senate? No. They can't move their agenda because it's vetoed by the minority. And it's vetoed by the minority because Democrats want it that way. That's the way the Democrats want. Democrats want the minority to be able to veto the majority. So they allow it. They let it go. Democrats want it to happen. So Democrats control the presidency and the House. That's 1.5. 1.5 branches. There's a battle, I guess. I don't know. It's a shared thing. The Senate is in a shared relationship with the GOP. It's 50-50. They're sharing it. So I wouldn't say they control that one. I would say they control 1.5 branches of the government. We don't control all corporations because if we did, the tax code would be different. We don't control education because if we did, there wouldn't be student debt. We don't control every global institution because what is a global institution? What is a global institution? There's no such thing as a global institution. There's no such thing as a global institution. But that word, global, that's a code word. That word means something to these rightists. Globalists, globalism means something to rightists, to Ken Peters and Ali Beth Stuckley. It means Jews, Jewish. They're Nazis. These guys are Nazis. They're Nazis. Ken Peters and Ali Beth Stuckley are Nazis. And they're signaling, you can see this code word here, globalists. They're signaling that they're Nazis because globalists are talking about Jewish people. They're anti-Semites. The QAnon conspiracy is an anti-Semitism conspiracy. And now all the QAnon people are hiding and trying to deny that they're into QAnon. Like the Q shaman, he's trying to hide the fact that he's into QAnon. He's trying to distance himself from it. But that's because that's part of their plan. Part of their plan is to hide and to go underground and to keep spreading their conspiracies, but on their down low. So these guys are Nazis. Here's more proof that they're Nazis. See, Ken Peters, Nazi, is retweeting Ben Shapiro, who's a Nazi. So we have David Levitt here saying it's now easier to obtain an assault rifle in Texas than it is to get an abortion. Now remember, Nazis don't like to come out in the open. They will never come out in the open. They like to hide. If they come out in the open, that means they expose themselves to criticism. So they can't ever do that. They need to maintain plausible deniability. So Ben Shapiro, Nazi, it replies. He wants to signal to his base that he's a Nazi and he wants to attack David Levitt, but he doesn't want to leave himself open to counterattack. So he's going to use plausible deniability and hide in the shadows. He's going to attack David Levitt without coming out openly and doing it. So look it. This is what he says. That's good because one of those actions is designed to defend human life, while the explicit purpose of the other is to take it. Now, Ben Shapiro, isn't that weird how he doesn't define anything? He leaves it ambiguous. He leaves it in the shadows. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird how Nazis do that? They never clearly state things. They always leave it undefined. They leave it in the shadows, and they leave it up to the listener to interpret. So if you're a rightist, if you're a Nazi, you hear Ben Shapiro and go, I know what he's talking about. But if you call him on it, he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I didn't say anything. That's what he does, right? Because Ben Shapiro lacks integrity. You see? He lacks integrity. If he ever came out solidly to define what he's talking about, that means he's manifested. He's solid. He's there. You can see him. And when you can see him, you can attack his position and say, oh, if you're talking about this shit, because look what I'm doing here, right? Look what I do here. For him, for Ben, I go ahead and define the things that he won't define. He doesn't do it, so I do it for him. So he says it's good because the explicit purpose of an assault rifle is to take life. So Ben Shapiro says it's good that it's easier to obtain an assault rifle because the explicit purpose of the assault rifle is to take life. That's why you get the assault rifle, to kill people, to kill humans. That's what it's designed to do, to kill human beings, to kill a person. It's designed to kill a human being. Healthcare choices, women making healthcare choices is designed to save the life of the woman, of the human being. Right? That's what the explicit purpose, one of those actions, abortion, healthcare, is designed to defend human life, the life of a human. But for Ken, that's bad. That's bad because for Ken and for Ben, women aren't people. They're vats to create more good Christians, white Christian soldiers. So Ben is signaling, and Ken is signaling to the Nazi base what they're about. But because they lack integrity, they can't ever come out and say it. Because if they had integrity, you could attack it and destroy it. They know this, so they won't come out. They won't come out. They won't come out. They won't do it. And that's why they have no integrity. And that's why when you call them hypocrites, it doesn't matter. Because they don't have integrity. They don't care that they don't have any form. That's their point, to not have form. That's why they do what they do, is so that you can't hit them. And you can't call them hypocrite. That's why they do what they do. Calls of hypocrite mean nothing to them. Here are the goals of the Nazis. Nazis want to, when you say scale back the size of the federal government, what that means is destroy the federal government. You know who else wanted to scale back the size of the federal government? The Confederates. They wanted to scale back the size of the federal government too. They want to restructure the United States in a Christian fundamentalist image. Just like the Confederates, because remember the Confederates have this hierarchy where white men are on top. That's the structure they want to create. They want to pass censorship laws against popular culture. Right? You can never talk bad about the king, because for them, racism is they follow the god of racism, right? The white idol, Moloch. They follow a white supremacy. So according to the god of white supremacy, the white supremacy order is divine. You can't question it. So if you popular culture always questions just everything. It'll question this, and the fragility of white supremacy does not allow that. You cannot allow it, because if you ridicule white supremacy, it shatters. It can't handle it. It's so fragile, it can't handle it. Remember, it has no integrity. It has zero integrity. So if you even touch it, it'll break to pieces. It can't handle it. It has no integrity. So one of the goals of white supremacy is to stop any way of criticism and one way against it, because it will shatter. It has no integrity. So they want to vote anyone out of office who would stop them from enacting their dictatorship of white Christians. And here, bring back prayer in public schools. They don't mean prayer. They mean adherence, loyalty tests to white supremacy. They want to fund private Christian schools with tax money, because remember, they don't want public education. Education to them is a bad thing. They want to go back to the time when when peasants were so ignorant they couldn't read, and they had to go to the priest and the church to ask them about what it means to be good, because they couldn't read the Bible for themselves. They want to prevent gays and any non-cis identity from achieving full civil rights, because that's part of their they follow the white idol, and the white idol has its own thing, and make abortion illegal, right? Their group is terrible, and they have no integrity. They're evil. Ken is part of this group. Nazis are part of that group. Here, Ken Locke. See what I mean? Ken Locke says, or Gredlock says, get your kids out of public schools, because he wants you, not because he wants your kids to be safe, but because he wants the public school system to collapse, and he wants to fund religious instruction only. He only wants people to learn about his white idol. That's it. That's it. So this guy is evil from my perspective. And my perspective is the American perspective. And you got to remember, the Nazis love the unborn. They love zygotes. Nazis love zygotes. Why? The unborn are a convenient group of people to advocate for. They never make demands of you. They are morally uncomplicated. Unlike the incarcerated, addicted, or the chronically poor, they don't resent your condensation or complain that you are not politically correct. Unlike widows, they don't ask you to question patriarchy. Unlike orphans, they don't need money, education, or childcare. Unlike aliens, what? Do you mean undocumented, like refugees? They don't bring all that racial, cultural, and religious baggage that you dislike. They allow you to feel good about yourself without any work at creating or maintaining relationships. And when they are born, you can forget about them because they cease to be unborn. It's almost as if, by being born, they have died for you. You can love the unborn and advocate for them without substantially challenging your own wealth, power, or privilege, without reimagining social structures, apologizing, or making reparations to anyone. They are, in short, the perfect people to love if you want to claim you love Jesus, but actually dislike people who breathe. Because the moment they breathe, suddenly, people like Greg Locke and Ken Peters don't like you anymore. They want to harm you. They want to hurt you. In fact, do I even have it up here? Yeah. In fact, Ken Peters wants rightists to die. He wants to experiment. He doesn't want the rightists to take the vaccine. He wants to experiment with them. He wants to see, Pastor Ken Peters wants to see what happens when rightists don't take the vaccine. And then we found out, right? We found out. I gotta look for it because I should just drag it to the desktop so it's always there, and because I keep coming back to it. It's an image that blows my mind every time. Every time I see it, it just gets me. Where am I? I'm way not in the right place. No. Oh, there it is. I got it. Okay. Yo, how can you look at that? Oh, wait a minute. Did it work? Did it work? No, here. How can you look at this? So this is the experiment that Ken Peters wants to do, right? So breakthrough cases are not driving the U.S. COVID-19 surge. We have reported cases among not fully vaccinated. I want to do this. No, what I Dude, you're messing up here. Oh no. You're quick, like a bunny. Okay. All right, check this out. So we got reported cases among not fully vaccinated. Let's make this clear though, right? What is it? This is rightists. So these are the people that Ken Peters doesn't want to vaccinate. So the purple are rightists, and this is leftists. Okay, so Ken Peters experiment. Rightists are 96% of the people in the hospital. In Alaska. Rightists are 94% of the people in Arizona. Rightists are 96% of the people in Arizona. 98% of the people in California. 99.9% of the people in Connecticut. Rightists who are unvaccinated, the people that Ken Peters didn't want to get vaccinated, these rightists are all in the hospital dying. They're all in the hospital dying. What kind of person would encourage rightists to kill themselves? Nazis would do that. Because remember, Nazis have no integrity. They have no integrity. So, to them, it's a great idea. Remember, Ben Shapiro wants people to die. He's glad that instruments of death are easier to get than instruments of life in Texas. Nazis want people to die. Ken Peters wants all those rightists to die. That's why he tells them what he does. It's not that he's making a mistake. It's not that he doesn't know. He knows. He doesn't care. So, what's going on, right? true story. As of this week, a 12-year-old in Texas cannot be told to wear a mask in school for safety. After school, the same 12-year-old can be held at gunpoint by someone who should not have a gun but use the new Texas permitless carry law to openly carry the gun. The unprotected 12-year-old can then get raped by the boy with the gun and will be told by Texas, with the blessings by the U.S. Supreme Court, that she must carry the rapist's baby. This is no longer about Texas. Texas is a laboratory for America. This is what's going to happen, right? That's what Ben Shapiro was talking about. He wants to make more Nazi babies. Ben Shapiro wants more Nazi babies. He wants to turn women into axolotl tanks, where the purpose of women is only to make babies. That's it. Really, Texas is no different than New York or Oregon. Blue cities in a sea of red. The blue states just have slightly bigger cities in comparison to the rural suburban areas. Texas is the nation. Ignore that at your peril. Remember, Texas is a blue state. Texas is a blue state. The only reason why Texas is red is because the Texas Attorney General interfered in the election and banned mail-in ballots. And by banning mail-in ballots, he kept the state of Texas blue or red, the Attorney General. Because remember, Republicans are hypocrites, but they don't care. And they're Nazis. They don't actually care about democracy. They just care about power. All right, what else do I got? Okay. I said it before, and I'll say it again. If you take care of Black Americans, you would take care of every other American, every single other American, because Black Americans are at the bottom. And the way that the United States is structured, any aid, it's like the same thing with Afghanistan. Remember Afghanistan? How the Afghan army collapsed as soon as the Americans withdrew? Do you remember that? And everyone wanted to blame the Afghan army for collapsing. They wanted to call them cowards and not trained and blah 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 blah, and that we wasted our money. But if you like look at it, the Afghan army was designed to fail. It was being the whole Afghan war thing was a grift. It was a grift meant to transfer money from public taxpayers to private hands. That was it. You paid contractors a ton of money to do this, to like do the same thing that GIs would do, but get paid nothing for it. And then any money you gave to the Afghan government got stolen, so that the Afghan soldiers actually working the line never got paid. They never got paid. And if you're an Afghan soldier working and you never get paid, like your family's going to start starving, and that's no good. But what if some guy comes along and says, hey, I'm with the Taliban. I'll pay you to keep order, right? I don't want you to go around killing people, but like I want you to keep order like you're supposed to do, right? Like I'm going to pay you to do your job. What, the Taliban is going to pay you to do your job. And you're a soldier, you'd be like, all right, dude, these guys aren't paying me, but if you're going to pay me to do the thing I'm doing anyways, okay. So the Taliban ended up paying the Afghan soldiers because they didn't get paid, because the funds that came from America never, ever, ever made it to the Afghan soldier because of the structure of the situation. So in order to make sure that because everyone took a cut along the way is what I'm saying. That aid was meant to get to the soldiers, but along the way, so many people took their cut that by the time it got to the soldier, there was nothing left. Same thing with the Colorado River. Everybody takes their cut out of the Colorado River. So by the time it gets to Mexico, there's nothing left. Every time. The Native Americans, the Dakotas, I think it was the Dakotas, agreed to go to live on a reservation, to move and live on a reservation if the government would supply them with their money and keep them alive. And what happened? Sure, Congress appropriated the money. Sure, the money went out, but by the time everyone took their cut. And by the time it made down to the Native Americans, the Dakota, there was nothing left. They had no money. They got nothing. And so they starved. And so what did the Dakota do? They went to war. That's just the way things work here in America. By the time it gets to the people who need it, everyone else is taking their cut. So there's nothing left. So the solution is to ensure that money gets to where it's supposed to go. You make sure the money gets to where it needs to go. You make sure that Black Americans get that money. You make sure that Black Americans get their aid. You make sure. You certify that stuff, because when you certify, you stamp that Black Americans have gotten their help, have gotten aid, everybody else along the way will have taken a cut. I guarantee it. So if you make sure Black Americans get help, I guarantee everyone else along the way will get help too. But you have to make sure Black Americans get that help. You have to make sure that they come up. You have to make sure it happens. You have to ensure that it happens. You must guarantee it. Because if you don't, then everyone's just going to take their cut along the way and they'll get nothing. And then, like, look what happened to white people. Same thing that happened to white people. Poor white people. Like, government can pass all sorts of laws, right? But if the interim government along the way takes a cut, by the time it gets to the people who need it, there's nothing left. So Republicans, right, who are the leaders of the white people who follow Republicans, like, what have Republicans done for their people? Like, let's look at it, right? Sure, Republicans have passed all these laws, but by the time it gets to poor white people, there's nothing left, because rich Republicans took their cut along the way. So yeah, by the time it got to the poor white people, there was nothing. They're starving. Their families are starving. So you got this Russian whispering into their ear, "Oh yeah, the American government's terrible. You can't trust the American government." They start poisoning the minds of poor Americans who get like no help from the government because a bunch of people took their cut along the way. So that's why white Americans were easily turned to fascism, because they were not getting the help that they need. It's the same pattern over and over and over and over and over again. So in order to recognize the pattern and recognize the dynamics, and then you can justify it by saying, if we help Black Americans, automatically everybody else is going to get helped along the way. Automatically. We won't have to do anything. It'll just happen. Everyone else will take their cut. Guaranteed. So wait a minute. How can I say all this? Like, I need to look at something. I can't just be like talking, whispering words. What am I pointing at? I have to point at something. All right, I'm going to point. Anna Flagg, the great journalist Anna Flagg, on August 30th, wrote this article, "The Black Mortality Gap and a Century-Old Document." 1 in 5 African American deaths happen earlier than if they were white. Black doctors say the Flexner report holds clues to the health system's role in racial health disparities. Wait a minute. the health system's roles in racial health disparities, that sounds like systemic racism. That sounds like critical race theory, the thing that Republicans hate. Why? Oh, because it reveals racism. Who would be against revealing racism? Nazis would be against revealing racism because Nazis want that stuff to hide in the shadows. So if we look at it, all the deaths in America, right? That's all of them. Each dot is one person's death. And then now we sort it out. We're going to sort them out. Now we arrange those deaths by age, right? A bunch of people die in the beginning of life, but if they make it past age 1, if they make it past the first year, they're pretty good, right? And then you start climbing up, right? Around 45 is when you start going up the mortality. Around 45 when you death starts catching up to you. So you're in a race against death, right? Death is like right behind you, chasing after you. And around 45 is when death starts catching up. 50, right? And then there's just not anyone left around this time, right? But if you're alive, you tend to die off by 100. Not many people make it much further past 100. The reason why it goes down is because there's just not that many people left. Okay, but what happens if you change this, sort it further, right? This is the first sorting. So we have all the deaths, and then we shake it out, and that's the first arrangement. Keep shaking it. Keep shaking that tray. What do we get? Keep shaking that tray. Now we're going to separate it out between the average and black people. So black people, they really die a lot higher when at birth than average people. They tend to die a lot sooner, and their death maybe age 13 maybe matches, but after that they're never the same. They die sooner and more, and so they peak out sooner. And you see this big drop. It's not because they get healthy. It's because there's just not that many people left anymore. And then it just drops off like everyone else. So black Americans die. This is a result of not of individual racism of one person against it, but of a system, an entire system around you, me, everything, around everything, an entire system. That's the result of an entire system. It's not by coincidence. It's not that black people are just naturally unhealthy. It's because of a system that you cannot deny it. You can deny it, but then we know you're a hypocrite and a Nazi. You can't maintain integrity and deny that there's systemic racism. You can't do it. You can't maintain integrity and deny systemic racism. In total, that adds up to over 355,000 black deaths in 2019. 1 in 5 of which happened earlier than expected for white Americans. So black people die earlier, die more, and die younger because of a system. It's not individual actions by individual white racists. It's a system. It's a system. It's systemic. Here, you want to see an example of this system? Polk County Sheriff in Dallas, Oregon. Polk County Sheriff has a policy. Masks, face coverings, face shields are required. Everyone from 5 years old of age and something required to wear a mask, face covering or face shield of that something. There are no, oh shit, I'm going to die. It's dark and I need to sleep. It's dark, and I need to sleep. I'm going to get more coffee, too. Okay. Polk County Sheriff. Masks required. All right. Polk County Sheriff. Look in the reflection. Why? That's us. We're protesting. But why? Why protesting? Because Polk County Sheriff, the sheriff said he's not going to enforce the mask requirement on anyone. He's not going to enforce the mask requirement on anyone. These two people are Polk County Sheriff, and they're not wearing masks. They walked in not wearing masks. They don't wear masks. And the sheriff released a letter saying that, I'm not going to enforce the mask mandate because I'm smarter than scientists and doctors. That's what the sheriff said. The sheriff said he was smarter than doctors and scientists, and that he wants to engage in what's that called when you don't listen to your superior officer? Subordination. He wants to engage in subordination. He's like, I know the scientific consensus and government rules say that mask coverings are a requirement, and that I know that it's an order from my superior officer to enforce these requirements, but the Polk County Sheriff is smarter than the doctors, and he puts himself higher than the governor, his superior officer, so he's just not going to listen. And it's not just the Polk County Sheriff, it's also the Multnomah County Sheriff. So they are not going to enforce the mask mandate. Well then, who does it fall to enforce the mask mandate? Workers. Workers have to enforce it. And if you haven't noticed, rightists who tend, those are the ones who don't wear masks. Rightists are pretty violent. Rightists are trying to overthrow the government. Rightists have already attacked numerous state capitals. Rightists stage violent rallies all the time. So rightists already tried to break into a elementary school in Vancouver, Washington the other day and got arrested. So rightists are dangerous people. And so this tells me that the sheriffs are rightists because they want to spread COVID. I forgot my point, but that was all right. And I'm just here's an example, right? So anti-vax is associated with right-wing, rightists. Rightists tend to be anti-vax, and leftists tend to be pro-vax. So let's look at the states, right? Leftists want to be vaccinated. So states that have more leftists will have higher vaccination rates. That's why Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Maryland, California, they're over here in the higher vaccination rate side. Right? They have more vaccinations. And the states that have more rightists who are anti-vaccination, will have lower vaccination rates, like Idaho, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, Florida. That's weird. Texas. And so what you're going to see here is this bend, right? This curve. In states with more rightists who are anti-vax, you have lower rates of vaccination. You also have higher number of kids on this axis. You have percentage of kids hospitalized for COVID. So the lower the vaccination rate, the more children are in the hospital for COVID. Rightists are anti-vax, and they want rightists are anti-vax, and they don't care about integrity. So they're sacrificing children. They're by not having the vaccination and by not wearing the masks, they're sacrificing children. That's what they want to do. Sacrifice children. That's what we're up against. The rightists sacrifice children. And they don't wear they don't follow the vaccine because they're anti-science. So rightists, we can say rightists are anti-science, pro-death. Well, we know they're pro-death, anti-science, pro-child sacrifice. That's just who they are. So here's another example of that. Florida is not reporting their stuff, but yeah, they're dying. People in Florida are dying. So COVID, U.S. states by deaths. Percentage, deaths on the left, and percent vaccinated on the bottom. So remember, rightists don't believe in vaccination, and leftists believe in vaccination. So rightists who don't believe in vaccination have more people dying. So this is Ken Peters' experiment, right? Ken Peters wanted to find out what happens when rightists don't vaccinate and leftists vaccinate. This is the result. So Ken Peters is a Nazi. So if you follow Ken Peters, that makes you a Nazi too. If you follow Ken Peters, you're a Nazi too. Birds of a feather flock together. Facebook is the problem. Why are all these people crazy? Well, Facebook helps confuse them. FTC says Facebook bought and buried rivals in a renewed antitrust fight by Diana Bart and Nandita Bose. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission refreshed its antitrust case against Facebook. It refreshed it, adding more detail on the accusation the social media company crushed or bought rivals, and once again asking a judge to force the social media giant to sell Instagram and WhatsApp. At 80 pages, the new complaint is significantly longer than the original one and includes additional data intended to support the FTC's contention that Facebook is a monopolist. Facebook has 65% of monthly active users since 2012. The FTC voted 3-2 along party lines to file the amended lawsuit and denied Facebook's request that the agency head, Lina Khan, be recused. So this is the important part. While under Trump's administration, the FTC had a different head. Not Lina Khan, it was a different head. It was iPad or something. And he was a Republican. And so he was pro-Facebook and pro-monopoly, pro-big business, and anti-American. So that's why the complaint didn't go anywhere under Donald Trump. But now that Joe Biden is in power, Joe Biden replaced the commissioner with Lina Khan. So replace the pro-Facebook commissioner of Donald Trump with a pro-American commissioner, Lina Khan. So Biden put the pro-American commissioner, Lina Khan, into to lead the FTC. And when she led it, suddenly the fight against Facebook came back. Like amazing. Once you put pro-Americans into government, they suddenly use the government to attack the enemies of the United States. That's amazing. Because remember, Facebook feeds rightists their information. The reason why rightists are anti-vaccine is because Facebook told them that. Facebook told them that. Facebook. I mean, everyone else tells them, but Facebook helps a lot. So after Joe Biden flipped the FTC back to American hands, the FTC filed a new lawsuit against Facebook. But then Facebook said, no, we want the new head to recuse themselves. It's not our buddy there anymore. So this new person, we don't want this person there anymore. And then 2-2, oh, well, this is a tie. You can't do anything. But the FTC said, no, you can't do that. So, oh, look, that's good. Facebook is going to get broken up. Good. Facebook is too powerful. Fuck Facebook. What else we got? Good news. New Zealand reports 20 COVID-19 cases as outbreak slows. They peaked at 20. They peaked at 20. Pretty impressive that even with lower vaccination rates, New Zealand was able to suppress Delta despite community transmission. Delta is super transmittable by community. And New Zealand doesn't have the benefits of the United States, didn't get first crack at the vaccine, didn't have the wealth of the United States to spread out that vaccine as fast as possible. They had to wait a long time. And so while they waited, what did they do? What did New Zealand do? Social distancing, wearing masks, washing your hands, working from home, shutting down. They did all those things without the vaccine, and what happened? New Zealand is a success. Success means people don't die. Success. New Zealand did it. Yeah, look, that's how you do it. See, that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't matter if your skin is pale or if your skin is dark. It doesn't matter if you can trace your ancestry to the Maori or to the English. It doesn't matter. It's how you work together in a group to create something bigger. Look at what New Zealand does. They work so good together that the thing they made was like a shield protecting their whole society, their whole island from COVID. It's like magic. If you're of a medieval mind, you're going to look at that and be like, oh, they made a magic shield to protect from the evil spirits. Or if you're a modern mind, you'll be like, wow, they use their intelligence to find techniques that work good, and then they use their will to implement it, the whole society. And by implementing this good behavior in their society, they stop the transmission of a known disease. Everything they did, they knew. It wasn't mystery. It wasn't magic. It wasn't monsters. All this is known. It's rational. You just got to think. And they did it. New Zealand is showing the rest of the world how it's done. Thank you, New Zealand. Thank you. All right, that's enough of the world news, right? Oh. Let's do something else, huh? Let me re-up my coffee for a bit. Oh, ooh. Let me face back into view. Phase. All right. Phase into view. Phase into view. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. Oh no. Yeah. You want to see what I look like in like 2000 what? 2 or 1? What is that? I don't even know what that was. So there's me in 2001 or 2 in my apartment in the Riverside Artist Lofts in the 6th floor where I used to live. God, it was awesome. It was awesome. That view is like, what is that? Is that even there anymore? It was a bank, I think. Nevada Credit or something bank. Nevada something bank. Anyway, I don't think that bank's there anymore. But yeah, this is a book I made a long time ago. Let me go look at it without you guys looking at me. All right. Let me see if I can find a poem I want to read. Dude, I haven't... Yeah, dude, I should tell you about me, right? I haven't talked to you about me very much. I mean, a little bit, but not much. So, yo, my name is Robert. Robert Gonzalez. Hello. My last name, Gonzalez. It comes from Mexico, because my father is Mexican. He comes from Mexico. But he's my adopted father. He adopted me when I was very, very young. And my mother is white. Yeah. And I lived in LA. Well, in the outskirts of LA. In my youth, before I moved to rural Nevada, which was a culture shock. And I lived in rural Nevada for a while. And then I got in a major car accident and technically died a few times. My heart stopped a few times. So technically, like, yeah. So, and I was in a coma for a week. So, and I don't remember the car accident happening. So, when people talk about the multiverse and yeah, and parallel universes, I'm like, okay. I can say that, like, in another universe, like I was sitting in a different place. I can see that. And in that different place, I wasn't, my story's ended. I can see that. I can go look into all the other possibilities of where I could have sat there. We could have left then. I could have moved a little bit more this way. Maybe that day the pilot was sick. Maybe that day they couldn't fit 2 people in there. I don't know. All sorts of things could have went wrong. But yet I'm on the path and where I survived. And maybe the people who didn't make it, maybe they're on another timeline where they did make it and I didn't make it. And we're all happy. Like, everyone's on their own trip. I don't know. The multiverse, right? So I moved to Nevada. I went to university. I got my degree. I lived in Europe for like 3 semesters, three university semesters. I lived in Europe, 2 in France and 1 in Spain. And then I went to Japan, and I taught English in Japan for 3 years. And then I moved back to Nevada, and I became a state worker. And I did that for a while, and it was killing me. Well, and then I moved to Oregon, where I became a different kind of state worker. And then things got weird. Things got crazy. Because as I was dealing with all my trauma, like, the country got taken over by a Russian asset. And I was like one of the only people who saw it. And I freaked out. And I was like, oh, man. So that brings me to here. So I don't even know. But when I lived in Reno, I was all into doing poetry. I was doing spoken word poetry. And I got to find some stuff. I mean, I can do my old poems that I've already done before, but you've already heard them. La 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 la. Finger. Oh yeah. So in Japan, I did this poem. In Japan, fingerprint. I like your hands are gorgeous in the way they are so soft and skillfully they touch my cheek or knead away the tension with a finger kiss, and oftentimes they speak a language no one else can comprehend. I like the way your hands can talk to me. That was weird. I've never said it like that before. That was fun. Ah, I've never said it like that. Oh, that was fun. Experimentation. Let's see. Okay. Beloved. For a long while, I thought I was deficient. Broken down in ways I couldn't see myself, but now I understand my loneliness was a hook of the past which isn't really there, pulling me back to the place of my hurt and my sorrow. Oftentimes I thought to borrow a map from a face or a cat or a rabbit who, in fact, only held a piece of what I had to find. Indeed, it might as well have been a pointer or simply a lead leashing me off into another direction. It always came back. Couldn't bear the feeling not there, and it made me wonder why. I never knew, but I saw my searching eye come back to blame the one it knew. I thought it was me, and I was right, but not quite in the way I had in mind. Beloved, you have been with me always. It has been me who pushed you away. It was my pain and my fear which kept me from accepting you and holding you, embracing you, and loving you the way you've always loved me. Words are starting to make sense now. I carry your heart with me. I carry it in my heart. You are here inside. You are all around. You are the ferry crossing wide bays and sounds. Seagulls follow the crashing pound of waves while sea foam tickles and sprays. You are the mountains and trees. You are the landfills and minefields, ugly scarred potholes, twisted barbed metal, sharpness and jagged cliffs, left unsettled, crossword puzzles and daffodils, dandelions and weed sprays, water droplets on summer days and sprinklers where kids play, and you are with me inside. Won't leave me for another hot ride or a donut. You materialize oftentimes in the form of a woman to act as a guide, and I know when it's you, I feel inside. I used to think that the number of times you've slept with a number of women, the relationships you've had or the ones you're leaving had some importance. I had to find you. You were out there somewhere in the ads or TV commercials, in the bars or dance clubs, wherever girlies would dance with G-strings precision and murder the concepts of beauty. You were here all along in my heart, where I carry your heart. It has its very own carton of milk for the time when we sit down and drink it with cookies. Yay! It's been a trip. I don't want to move guys yet because it's not safe. It's not safe, damn it. I have to keep working on this village. Look how dark. I can make a wall, though. I bet I can make a wall. Ugh. All right, what else do I got? Oh, da, 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 da. I closed it. It was like too much. Oh, I didn't close it. I don't know. Je ne sais pas. I don't want to read. These are old. I don't want to read them anymore. They're old. I'm old too, but you know. I'm making something new now. Yeah, so the train line, check this out. It's going to go from there to there. And then once I have a loop, I can start making new stuff. I can, yeah. Like, I want to use this thing up here. This is a nice spot just to, like, overlook. I can maybe make something like that matches the circle over there. That'd be cool. Or just a train line, really. Just, you know. Okay, anyways. Yeah, it's a long day. Or it's a day. I'm gonna go out and just walk around and see what's out there. Yeah, thank you for hanging out with me. I want to hang out for another trip around the sun. And then we'll just see what happens. I think this is gonna be a big year. I say that every year. But who knows? Who knows? All right. Okay, everyone. I love you. Hang in there. Love each other. There's so many ways of expressing that love that I leave it upon you to challenge you to find different ways. It'll be cool. Okay, like it'll be great. All right, America. Until next time, Pogo Killer out. Peace. Stop.